Hi, I'm Laura Flanders of The Laura Flanders Show. Watch every week on Free Speech TV, Link TV, YouTube, or if you're in New York, CUNY TV. Prefer to listen? Subscribe to the free podcast at lauraflanders.org. I end every week with a commentary. I call it the F word. Here's this week's. I've been on the road a bit, and catching up on emails been hard. Staying up with social media even trickier, because I have been failing to keep up with Trump TV. Now, don't get me wrong, the Attorney General's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee and his standoff with the House may be important. Something, sometime, may come of it. But let's consider the opportunity cost of all this one-note coverage. 4 weeks Bill Barr has every other topic beat, bar none, forgive me. And while he's been allowed to dominate every news cycle, especially on TV, which is still the most influential source for most Americans, a whole lot of stories have been scarcely covered or altogether edged out. Take just one beat, healthcare and reproductive rights. In the past week alone, I bet you didn't see the ashen face of the director of the UN Agency for Women as she learned that the Trump administration was threatening to veto a UN resolution on rape as a weapon of war. I did. A decade ago, after the mass rape of women in Yugoslavia and Rwanda, the UN Security Council passed a historic resolution, for the first time forcing UN forces to gather information and act to stop sexual violence. This April, the U.S. delegation threatened to veto that whole thing until every reference to sexual or reproductive health was stripped out. Apparently, someone in the White House was worried that some poor conflict survivor made pregnant by an enemy rapist might somehow manage to avail herself of an abortion, and someone thinks she had White House consent. Later in the week, in the honor of National Prayer Day, President Trump issued a proclamation allowing doctors to deny service to people seeking procedures including abortion, sterilization, and assisted suicide. While you may have heard that, what you probably didn't learn is that researchers have shown for decades that so-called faith-based exemptions spread, creating a climate of denial that can extend from abortion to contraception and even counseling on birth control, and beyond the procedural to the personal. In an exemption culture, LGBT people routinely find themselves denied basic care. When it comes to rights, the fish of state rots from the head. When the federal government stops defending equal rights, bigotry has a way of bubbling up. In 2016, for example, Mississippi passed a law that singles out LGBT people and unmarried parents by creating a right to discriminate for those who oppose equality or believe sex outside of marriage is immoral. Legislators in the Alabama House just last week approved a bill that would ban abortion even in the case of rape and incest. While the Barr-Trump show plays on, we're slipping into a silenced health crisis. I get it, measured in likes and ratings and ads, all the time Trump TV is priceless. But what we don't know is the opportunity cost of all that not reported news. That's being paid right now in lives and choices and constitutionally protected rights. You can always write to me, tell me what you think. We love to hear from you, and I get back to you as soon as I can. That's Laura at lauraflanders.org.